MJF sat down with Sean Ross Sapp at some sort of wrestling convention type gimmick. I don't fucking know what it was. Had a good little sit down interview, about 10 minutes or so with MJF. And two of the bigger highlights from that were, of course, MJF talking about Britt Baker. All this fuss about the pillars of AEW and blah, 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 blah. As you can see by the picture here on the thumbnail, MJF and Britt Baker go way back. You know, they know each other quite well. But Britt Baker has had some not so nice things to say about MJF recently in different interviews. But does anybody ever really have anything nice to say about MJF? But MJF did have the opportunity to give his thoughts on Britt Baker. Check out this clip.
Britt Baker talks a lot of trash about you on Twitter now. How do you feel about that? She doesn't like your promos.
She's definitely upset because she thinks she's a pillar because PG Punk said so. But the fact of the matter is she's fucking not. And even if she was, what is she going to wrestle me for the world title?
She could.
I'm 3 times her size. I would beat the living fucking shit out of her. But I do respect the fact that she's a dentist. Hygiene's important. It's very important.
I outweigh her and I would kick the shit out of her. I love this shit. I love that MJF just has no fucking filter. And it's acceptable in today's cancel culture. MJF's allowed to be uncancelable because 1, he doesn't seem to give a fuck if he is or isn't. And 2, you know what? He probably will go too far. Let's just face it. Someday something's going to catch up with him. You know, like that tequila in the kid's face thing or something. But 2, we just kind of collectively give him a pass on everything because it's his gimmick. And what a fucking gimmick to have, right? But it was in another clip here from Sean Ross Sapp where MJF seemed to kind of be a little bit more authentic. In fact, I think somebody had even made mention in a different podcast that Sean Ross Sapp did that MJF seemed genuine in that interview. To which Sean replied, everything about MJF is genuine, which is not a good thing for MJF, right? No, it's all a shtick, of course. But, yeah, MJF had his thoughts on Cody Rhodes losing to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Everybody's had their opinion about this, right? Every fucking podcast under the sun over the last couple weeks since WrestleMania is talking about the finish of that match, which quite frankly makes the finish of that match significant and always will be. Even the end of the streak is talked about to this day. Maybe for the wrong reasons, but it was certainly a moment, and Cody Rhodes' loss to Roman Reigns, whether you think it was a good idea or a bad idea, it was certainly a moment that will not soon be forgotten at all. And don't we all want that at WrestleMania? I don't want it. I mean, I'm not going to WrestleMania, but I mean, as you know, as fans, we look for these great moments that we can remember forever. And Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, they want to make moments, right? And the finish to that feud, the finish to that match was a moment, for better or for worse. Here's what MJF had to say about it. Check out this clip.
Roman Reigns defeating Cody Rhodes. What did you think of that, or did you think of that?
Oof. That is a loaded question.
Yeah, of course it is. It is.
Me and Cody Rhodes, the American roller coaster, we have a very interesting past, you know? He's been a mentor, he's been a friend, he's been a mortal enemy. All wrapped into a neat, cute little succinct bow. I think he came across like a top guy. I think he's transformed his body much like I have in the past year. But let's be honest, I'm bigger than him and I'm in better shape than he is. But, you know, he looked like a top guy, was presented like a top guy, had a top guy outing, had a top guy match. He just didn't win. And unfortunately, some nights you just don't win. But Cody Rhodes, I think, is the epitome of putting the work in. Everything that he has accomplished is literally only because of him. And he's far too humble to admit that. He'll pretend it's got something to do with somebody else. He got it done himself, and he should be very proud of that. Was I happy to see him lose at Mania? I don't know if I would have been happy if he won, lost. The only thing that I know is he had an incredible outing, and it was probably the best match of the entire night.
He's absolutely right. Cody Rhodes looked like a megastar in that match. The presentation was top notch. I do think they missed their moment. I've been clear about that. I'm not going to go back on that. I think they missed their moment. I think they are hoping a whole lot of stars align to get to the next moment, if that's what they're going to do. If it's at SummerSlam or Royal Rumble or Money in the Bank or anything less than WrestleMania, that will be a missed opportunity, because WrestleMania is where you want to make the moments. We just talked about how this was certainly a moment. People will not soon forget the day that Cody Rhodes lost to Roman Reigns, for sure, 100%. But if you want to pass that torch and you want to draw out the story, but you eventually want to tell that Cody came back, worked harder, fought harder, overcame the adversity to come back and win the championship, you're asking a lot. You're asking the fans to still be around for that ride. You're betting that you're going to be able to tell a story that's as compelling as the finish the story. My dad, blah, 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 blah. Like, Cody can't tell that same story again. It's not going to work because we already doubt him now. He got our hopes up. He got everybody's hopes up. That's something you don't do. You don't tell people you're going to win or damn near ensure it. I don't know that he said he would outright win, but God, it was certainly the Cody Rhodes campaign, wasn't it? And that was probably by design to really make everybody believe. But at the end of the day, he lost. Now you're going to hope that he's got the same kind of, heat behind him, and that Roman's going to have the same heat behind him, and that nobody's going to get injured, and that, maybe Roman's title reign isn't going to get stale by then. There's a whole lot of factors that could play into, what if Cody doesn't get the chance to wrestle Roman? What if one of them's hurt? What if fucking anything could happen between now and then? So it's a lot to bet on, and I think that was a shitty move. But as far as MJF's take on it, that Cody, win, lose, or draw, he looked like a megastar. And look, that could be a sign, too, to what MJF is looking for in a potential jump to WWE. What's my presentation going to be? What am I going to look like? Because that's half the battle, right? You can raise your stock just by being presented as a megastar. You could be presented as a jobber or a guy, or you could be presented as a fucking icon. WWE, there's nobody better. AEW, for as good as their production value is and everything, they don't seem to have that ability to just create icons. Not yet, anyway. WWE has that way of freezing magical still frames, moments in time. And a lot of that happens at the grandest stage, at WrestleMania, or just in stadiums in general. So AEW's got a stadium show coming up. Maybe they'll be able to do that. But certainly I think MJF is eyeballing the way that Cody was presented much more than is Cody going over and winning the belt ski. But what are your thoughts on the whole thing? Let me know down in the comments below. And I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next.